Okay, hello world, or at least the world of YouTube. In this video I want to tell you two things. One is about a new site where you can get a free tarot reading, but it's different. It's called yourfreetarotreading.com, but you don't read the answers. Instead you listen to audio files, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. I also want to show you how the tarot is a bit like shorthand. So you start with something like this and you end up with that. So it's quite good. So the free readings are in the form of audio files. So there's one for each card, upright and reversed, and how it would answer questions in three areas. Because people generally want to know about love and relationships. They want to know about money, work and business. And they also want to know, I'm stuck, I'm in a kind of rut, so how do I get out of it? And those are the three types of questions that I deal with in the audios. You get about 12 to 18 minutes for each card, and we see how the picture leads to different ideas. These ideas are related to the question that has been asked, and then we see how to discover the answer that makes sense for that question at that moment. If you like the approach, there's a home study course and it's for sale, or you can get a reading from me, and I give you details of how to go about this at the end of the video. So I want to tell you about the new site and what you'll find there and how to use it if you go there. There's a video introduction on the main page, and it begins, this is yourfreetarotreading.com. So let's imagine your name is Maria, right? You're 19 and you want to know if you're going to get married. Ideally, there'd be a huge box filled with index cards with every answer to every question that anybody would ever ask written out. And you put your hand in the box and pull out the right card and you read it. So Maria picks a card and she says, yes, Maria, you get married. He'll be about your age. He'll be loving and kind and will want to protect you and your family. He'll also be a bit emotional at times. So you're going to need to understand he feels things deeply and doesn't always know how to handle it. So be patient at times like this, and you're going to live happily ever after. Okay, says Maria, that sounds good. The problem is there's no gigantic box with all the answers written out, but we do have the 78 cards of a tarot deck. And the deck contains all answers, but in a shorthand version. So let's say you're Maria and you want to know if you're going to get married, and we pick a card, and it happens to be the Knight of Cups, right? Knight of Cups. So it's upright as we look at it. So the answer is yes, Maria, you're going to get married. And it's a knight, so he's a younger person and about your age. So it could have been a king. There's a king of battles. It could have been a king, and that would represent somebody a bit older, or in an older generation. So Maria's 19, maybe the king would be somebody 35 or older. If the starting point is somebody who is, let's say 40, and you get a king, that can be somebody who is like 60, 55, 60, that kind of age difference. But for Maria, it's a knight, so he's her age. He's younger, so he's energetic and active. And the suit is cups. When we think of a cup, it connects with celebration, right? And trophies, right? Recognition of excellence. So this Knight of Cups that Maria is going to get involved with is sociable. He likes people. He gets on well with people. He's loving and giving. And if you think about it, a cup is like a solid container that protects the liquid within. So he's protective, and he's going to care about those people that he loves. The liquid inside the cup can represent emotions. So he's going to be emotional too. And obviously that can be hard for him at times, so be patient, and you'll get through it. So who needs a giant box when you have the tarot? So at first glance, the card may not mean much, or seem to mean much, or we can't do a lot with it. But if you take your lead from the card and its illustration, you won't go wrong. You're not being intuitive and imagining that your random thoughts are accurate or worth hearing. Instead, you're following the lead of the card, and that produces a different result. If you follow this method, it's going to produce consistently correct results. So this site offers you a free reading. Step 1, write down your question. It's important to write it down because it's easy to forget what you asked. It's easier than you think. At the same time, the meaning of the card depends a lot on the question that you asked. So you have to exercise your mind as well if you're to see what sense a card makes. You get a lot more out of the answer than if you just read or memorize what the card is supposed to mean. So step 2 is pick a card. If you have a deck, pick a card and then click the navigation links on the right of the screen, and you're going to find your card there, and then you can listen to the audio. Or you can use a random number generator at random.org. You'll see the link and what to do in the instructions below this video. So when you have the number, click the navigation tab for random number generator on the right there, and scroll down the list to find your card, and then click the link for the audio. It's going to open in a new screen, and then you click to play. So I begin each explanation, or the explanation for each card, with some general interpretation of the symbolism of the card, and how you might connect it with your question to discover the answer. Then we consider what the card means, both upright and reversed, for a question about a relationship. It could be romantic, or with a child, or a neighbour, a friend, a co-worker. Then we consider what the card would show if you want to improve a particular relationship. The second type of question is about money, work and business, right? It could be a job, a new job, a promotion, how to get along with people, what work is going to be like. Then we answer a question about how to improve a work situation or a money situation. And the third type of question the card is going to answer is along the lines of, how can I live fully or in harmony with my greater purpose? Or I'm kind of stuck or in a rut, how do I get out of it? So if you follow the lead of the card, you end up more in harmony with your real life, or the life you want to live, and you're satisfied even if things are hard. Because the purpose is to point you in a direction of being independent and living your life, right, or the one you want to live. If you want help, I'll give it. But you have to show that you've done some thinking for yourself first. You can't just say, okay, this is my question, I got this card, tell me what it means. But if you email me with, this was the question I asked, I got this answer, I understand blah, 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 this part and this part, and that makes sense, but I tried this, but I'm not sure about this point. Can you help? What can it mean? And I'll happily answer that kind of request. So, if you like the approach and the interpretations of the cards, and would like to study more deeply, then you can buy the home study course. There's a link to a PayPal button in the What to Do Next tab, as well as in the Resources tab, or visit www.thetarotcourse.com for details about the contents and so on. If you want me to pick cards and answer your question or questions, there's a PayPal, Pay Now button on the What to Do Next tab, as well as the Contact tab. And of course, if your questions or comments, or would like a video on a particular subject, email me at bllntr@yahoo.com. That was it. Thanks very much.